Intercontinental Sport TV. ISTV the building. Smash it like on the video. Come on, let's go. Come on, you don't. Wake up. All right. Come on, let's go this way, baby. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody. You're welcome to the show. Straight up.
Turn up for the night.
Yes, we're turning up tonight.
Average girl too fine. Oh, she might.
Like on the video.
Yeah.
It's all about Friday's pop.
Come on. Just fall on you.
I tell you.
I won't do.
We are ready.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I just wanna call on you.
I'm calling on everybody to join us on this show. It's all about fun. Big up everybody. Let's go.
She the girl in my visions.
My goodness.
Now that I found you, I'm feeling for all your attention.
We are talking about sport, not about girls tonight.
If I give you a tour of my mansion.
Oh, I'm in the studio
all
right now.
For you,
live.
Babe.
I'm ready.
Nothing I won't do, babe.
Off in the building.
Weak for your love. Everywhere we go, they be alright.
Right.
Yeah.
Video. Come on,
help
let's
with
go.
Your body.
Friday.
Just wanna make you happy.
Rob, talk to me. Are you going on with us?
Hello. Welcome to the It's a very good vibe. I love the music. You know,
I tell you, bro.
Vibes, a good Friday.
Yes.
It's a good Friday. You know, look, we are into the weekend where we might look at. I might decide if we finally.
I tell you.
I tell you. Down, this is coming to an end, and I'm feeling a little bit sad. This is coming to an end, but yeah, it's good to be on the show.
All right. Welcome, bro. Yes, also with this same spirit. On in the building. Off in the building. Let me check who's also in the building. The vibe is high in the studio right here. How do you like the video for this great man? I call him Robbie. He's a bad guy, he's a good guy all the way.
Just wanna make you happy.
Robbie, what's going on, bro? Just like I'm calling on you, Robbie.
Good evening to you, Dad. Good evening to the guys in the house. It's good to be back here once again. And I tell you, this is just where it is happening. And of course, this is one of the best sport platform where everything we talk about is unscripted. Everything we talk about tells you how passionate everybody are about the game. And of course, it tells you that this is just where we break things down, we break sports down, we break performances down as it is. And just like Prof said, we're getting to the business end of the English Premier League. But I think first and foremost, this week we saw a whole lot in Europe. And of course, it tells you that that man, Jose Mourinho, still remains the special one. Yesterday, he was able to guide Roma into the finals of the Europa League. And of course, it tells you that something is going on in the Italian Serie A. For the Champions League, you have an Italian club in the finals. For the Europa League, you have an Italian club in the finals. For the Europa Conference League, you also have an Italian club in the finals. So, well, who knows? At least I'm so sure the Italian clubs will know they won't lose all the finals. I'm so sure they will at least win one of the three finals they are in. So, it's good to be back on the show. And of course, let us get cracking.
You're right. Yeah, from him.
Yeah. Hope you don't mind if I give you a tour of my mansion.
All right.
All of this for you, babe.
I'm loving
Nothing
it.
I won't do, babe.
All right.
For your love.
It's great, great gentleman. It's welcome. I'm going to welcome him, the big man himself. All the way from Toronto. Imagine. They're getting big and they're getting bigger. All the way from Toronto. It's a Barcelona He's drinking Barcelona. He's happy. They won the La Liga.
Let me do it all for
They're calling on you, man. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's nice to be with you guys on the show again. Thank you very much. We are basking in the euphoria of our La Liga title with the 27th one. But there's still work to be done. But let's talk sport.
All right, we want to talk about sport. That's what Mac is saying. Mandela got the big man himself. The man.
You got too much going on in that mind. Let me help you.
Don't be a prince.
Let me give you the moment in your life to step to fly away together.
It's happy with your
body. Just wanna make you happy.
Oh, what is he doing? Let me ask you. I'm calling on you, no captain, your life.
Yeah, good evening to Don. Good evening to the rest of the guys. It's nice to be here. And for me, I'm disappointed because this season we had a close shot at the title and we didn't get that. So definitely I'm disappointed. But am I sad? No. Am I dejected? No. And it's not doom, it's not gloom, because for it seemed that what we were projecting was just a top 4 finish. Let's just get back into Champions League. Let's get to enjoy Champions League football after 7 years. I mean, we got more than we bargained for. At the end of the day, we ran with the title. And sincerely, if you watch City on Wednesday, you will see, you will count it as a huge honor to have actually ran the title race with them. They are just too much. So I mean, it's not if you had lost the title to a team like Chelsea or the team from the wretched side of Manchester, I will feel disappointed. I will feel sad. I will feel, in fact, I can call for Ateta said, but when you lose the title to a team like City, a team that can go, a team that can go 20 games winning streak. I mean, that's mad. That's insane.
Massive. I tell you.
So for me, I'm not sad. I'm very, and of course, if you look at the trajectory of Ateta, you discover that there's always a room for improvement. He finished 8th, he finished 5th, now he's finishing 2nd.
Next season, he just finished first.
You can expect to win the title. You can expect to go fight the Champions League. So
hey.
And like they say, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And Ateta has shown us that with the right additions, he can actually go places. So for me,
all right,
I would say it's been a good season.
All right, fantastic. I want to call on this great man all the way from that beautiful city. Beautiful city. Oshodi, to be precise. I tell you, Kule, I'm calling on you. Are you there? Live. Kule, are you there? I'm calling on you. Come on. Go. Unmute your mic. Get up. Can I hear you?
Yeah, good
calling
evening,
on you, bro.
Yeah, good evening, Don. Yeah, good evening to Don, and good evening to everyone. It's nice to see Mark again on the show. Nice to have you again, boss. Nice to have you again.
Thank you.
The Juventus enthusiast who has left Barcelona and he has left Barcelona and he's sympathizing with Juventus.
Can you imagine?
But he's doing a lot of magic. But he said they deserve something since their Intertoto Cup, right?
Yeah. I'm allowed to support somebody for just a little bit.
All right, people, let's get it is. Please smash the like on the video. This is how far we want to start properly. But as we always do, please, guys, we are going to run a quick debate. A quick debate. Who goes there? This is the topic, the quick debate. Kunle, I'm going to start off with you. Look at the question. It says Arsenal Invincible or Manchester United treble-winning team. Pick one. Why are you picking it? Just 1 minute. 1 minute. Kunle, please go.
I would say.
Calling on you, Kunle.
Yeah, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I would pick the United treble-winning team, and not because I support Manchester United, but because winning that treble is something that is very difficult to do. Even Pep Guardiola, that has been so celebrated, I think he has only managed to do it once. He's probably going to do it this time, but nothing is given, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen in the Champions League final. You don't know what is going to happen in the FA Cup final. Anything can happen, regardless of the form. So going on that streak of winning 3 major titles, which includes the Champions League. We're not talking about domestic treble or like the one they used to carry in PSG or the one Guardiola did when he carried Premier League. We're talking about including the Champions League. It is difficult.
Yeah.
Extremely, extremely difficult. And one of the things that made Manchester United so fascinating is because Manchester United won those games as largely second best. They were not really that much of the best team. I mean, when you look at, say, the Champions League final, for instance, or the FA Cup semi-final that they played against Arsenal, where they needed extra time, where you had that amazing goal from Ryan Giggs. Then you go back to even the Champions League, where they play Juventus. Was it not in the semi-finals or in the quarterfinals?
Yeah.
Semi-finals. Semi-finals.
It was away goals. You understand? The funny thing about that season is till date, Manchester United is the only team that has the lowest, is the Champions League winner with the lowest win percentage. They won only 5 games out of 13. So for me, that is incredible to have pulled that off. It's incredible. So I will pick them over the Invincibles.
All right, Kunle is going for them. Yeah. Kunle is actually going for Manchester United. He's going to pick Manchester United. Let me quickly welcome this great gentleman. I rate all the way from that city, Atlanta, or Georgia, or whatever I know is in the United States. Welcome to the show, I rate. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, thank you, Don. It's good to be here again. Good run of fixtures coming up.
Yeah, final is coming up.
Business end of the season, so this is where the prizes will be shared out. So I'm excited for the weekend.
All right, I'm going to ask you the question straight up. Irate, which one are you picking? Is it Arsenal Invincibles or Manchester United treble-winning team? Pick one side and tell us 1 minute why you're picking any one of them. Go for it, bro. Talk to me. You're welcome.
I mean, without beating around the bush, I'm going for Man United treble-winning team. And obviously, they won more trophies, 3 trophies. Arsenal went unbeaten and still got, 1 trophy for it. So Man United had more trophies. Also, going unbeaten, yes, it's a big deal, but let's also consider the fact that if you draw 38 games in a season, you are unbeaten. And that doesn't even guarantee that you will survive and remain in the league with 38 points. So I think there's another team in Serie A who has gone unbeaten and ended up 4th. So it's not all about going unbeaten, it's about winning things. So for me, I would go for the treble-winning team.
That's it, Irate. I'm feeling you, Irate. Manchester United. I can't believe it as a Liverpool fan. He's going for the treble-winning team. Bro, I'm calling on you right away. Pick one. 1 minute. Quick debate. Over to you, Prof. Can you hear me, Prof? Loud and clear. Which one are you picking?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I think I would also go with the Sir Alex United 1999 team. I did the treble. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, bro. I can hear you.
That did the treble. I think Arsenal finished. Although Arsenal's Invincibles, they are iconic. It's never been done, and they finished with 90 points. But and I think Man United's 99 side finished lesser than 90 points. But you can't look beyond that treble winning team. And they were very, very difficult to beat. I didn't watch them live. I didn't watch the games, but things that I've read, about it and the videos that I've seen, obviously, it's there to be seen. So if I would choose, I think I would go obviously for the treble-winning side. That is about to be matched by Man.City in a couple of weeks. It's about to be matched.
Keep dreaming, bro. We are going to spoil the career in Africa. All right, I know Mark is doing like this. It's wrecking me. I'm going to call on you straight up. I'm calling on you straight up. Which one will you pick? Is it as Invincible or I'm telling you, Mike.
Without mincing words, I think I'll go for the Manchester United treble-winning team of '99. I was privileged to see over several seasons both teams, Arsenal back then and Manchester United, and the difference between the two sides is that what Manchester United did translated into winning trophies across the major competitions. And what Arsenal did, although it is iconic, it is memorable, nobody has done it after that time. It only translated into winning the National League. And so Manchester United did something that is remarkable, truly remarkable in the world of football. You win the National League, the National Cup, and the Champions League. So they are both national and continental champions, and that is it's a commendable feat. It's something that you cannot forget in a hurry. So for me, I think I go with them. And also because what they did, it wasn't what they actually did, or how they did it, how they came back, especially in the Champions League final. I was at Mushin, Lagos on the day.
Wow.
I saw the match, and Mario Basler gave Bayern Munich the lead, and it was at Camp Nou. That's another reason why I will remember. So, and the late mid-seconds of the game, I think Sheringham and Solskjaer, they turned it around, and they were flown back with Concorde Airlines back to England, and it was merriment all the way. I even remember that they waxed the record, lifted it up high then, and it was memorable. So for me, it is Manchester United treble winning.
All right, that's fact. Go straight to Robbie. Robbie, talk to me. Which one are you calling? Which one are you picking? I'm calling on you.
Okay, you know what? Let me channel the spirit of Mark this afternoon. Well, Mark said he was at Mushin when he saw the final. That was more or less. Let me say that was more or less my first European game as a kid when I saw that game, and I was in Ibadan when I saw that game. I'll go with the United team. Why? Not for anything. That record has stood. That record has stood for over 22 years. And it is still something that is yet to be done in English football. Manchester City have the opportunity to equal it, and even if they do, that means that they came in second best. So it tells you that United will still be the first team in English football history to create that record. So if Manchester City do it, well, congratulations to them. Like I said, that means that they came in second best. So they are coming in over 20 years after the fact. For that game, for United, it was a memorable achievement in the history of the club, and one that I think built more or less a lot of pillars or a lot of things that we see happening at United, maybe until when Sir Alex Ferguson left the team. So for me, I would go United all the way. Arsenal did something wonderful. Yes, I also saw the Invincibles play. I was in school then as well, and I think it is something commendable, something that still up till today as well is yet to be replicated. But just like Mark rightly said, it is just an achievement that stands at the national level. For what United did, they both conquered England and they also conquered Europe. So I think United are all the way for that record.
All right, I'm calling on this guy, Nubia Prince. Don't carry me, I don't know. Don't carry me where I don't know. Don't carry me, Nubia Prince. Which one are you picking? Don't carry me.
For me, obviously, I am going to, go for the Invincibles, and this goes beyond the fact that I'm an Arsenal fan. I need to explain. When people talk about.
You see, guys, I tell you, it's going to carry me. I don't know. I can't listen to him. I've lost you there, bro. Jump in. I'll come and answer your question. Pick one, Invincible or treble winning. Let's go straight to the point right now, Kule. A lot has been done over the weekend. We want to do a preview of the Champions League and Europa League. I'm going to start with you, Kule. Yes. We don't see the final, but we are going to do the review quickly because of what Manchester City 4-0 to Real Madrid. Impossible. I can't believe it. I can never agree. I can never. So talk to me. 4-0. 4-0.
And nothing happened really. Nothing happened. I think the game was as expected, right? City were going to dominate. We know that they will press the life out of Real Madrid. They will make life uncomfortable for them. We all know that. That is how Real Madrid play in the Champions League, right? Real Madrid are never in a commanding position. They always come from behind, or they come under pressure. They soak it, and it's from there they build. But what the difference here was that City were able to contain them, stifling them and not giving them, and that is exactly what you need to do if you want to beat Real Madrid, because it still beats me that this is the first game in a very long time that I can remember that Real Madrid did not score a goal, because normally when Real Madrid scores, that is what they just need and it changes. But City were able to keep them out. They even added more in the second half, which was good, because as at 2-0, it was not safe. Because if Real Madrid had scored one, we know what's going to happen. They can even score 3 more. We saw what they did against Liverpool when Liverpool had a 2-0 lead and they couldn't. That's Real Madrid. So the key thing is when you score, prevent them from scoring. And Manchester City did that perfectly well. So
all right, let me ask. Sorry, Kunle, I'll be back. Let me ask Prof. Watching that game, you've been saying Pep is the best. Is Prof? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Best manager.
Yes, the best manager for time. This one is arguable. Look at.
Yeah, I give you.
Yes, okay, fine. I know Irate is going to disagree with you. It's not for me, and Kunle will also tell you, he's not the greatest manager of all time. Well, we'll come back to that. Kunle Abi.
Yes, he is. He is not.
Kunle is not even sure. Kunle is not sure.
No. No, he's not a man. No. I'm not a matter. He's not. Look, I always say when it comes to this greatest. I think it's better to make errors. That's what I said, because you can't use. Look, even the previous managers that we keep mentioning, it was for an error. So trying to say that someone is the greatest, there are different factors. You can't compare.
All right. So thank you. Yes. Okay, let's go back to this review right now. Pep was, the Man City, they were top notch in that game. Can you give us your thoughts about the game, Prof? Because you were talk to me. Flawless.
It was a flawless performance by Pep Guardiola's side.
Wow.
Just when you think these people cannot, when you think there is no more gear, that they can go, they just take you to another level. For them to handle Real Madrid, especially in the first half of that game. Look, if you don't know about, anybody who wasn't watching football at that day, who didn't know that there was a game, City Madrid game, and you walk into the living room and you look at the TV, honestly, you would think it was Man City versus Southampton. That was the way Man City played Real Madrid. They played them like a relegated team in the first half. Real Madrid laid no finger on Pep. And how did it? He was simply stuck with what has worked for him since that about the first of March or there, about that moment where Pep switch it up for everybody. Put it John Stones, give John Stones a double role. That was when it all changed. And City and Real Madrid had no answers for it, because they had the way they had too many bodies with John Stones. They had overloads of players against Real Madrid players, and we all know that Toni Kroos and Modric are they've lost legs. Camavinga, who I felt on the day should have played in the middle of the park, was played in left back, although he performed well at left back at Santiago Bernabeu. So I think Pep somewhat restricted Man City from going all out, because he knew the power they had in Etihad. Even Grealish alluded to that fact that they've been so strong. Grealish was in awe of the way they've been performing in Etihad. They have been flawless at the Etihad. So I think it was tactical by Pep to go to the Bernabeu and be a little bit conservative and take them to the Etihad and destroy them. And that was what he did. They had too many bodies in the middle of the park. Modric and Kroos could not cope. Grealish was top-notch. Bernardo Silva. Rodri was who he was, making everything tick. So look, it was an extreme quality performance by Pep and the boys, and look, they have to be favorites now to win the Champions League.
All right, Mark. Quickly talk about Inter Milan versus Milan. It ended 1-0. The aggregate was 3-0. Actually, 3-0. Mark, did you watch it? The game?
Actually, I didn't see the game, but I saw the highlights, and what actually surprised me that most people were talking about the fact that AC Milan did not have Rafael Leao for both games, and that really counted against them. Well, that to me, that's something, but it's also an excuse. I was expecting that at least AC Milan over the two legs, they will give strong competition to Inter, because Inter they weren't really 100% effective over the course of this season in the Champions League. However, they were able to take advantage of the situation that they found in that game, being that these are city rivals. They both play in the same stadium. So it was just a question of administrative reasons for who was home and who was away. But they really took advantage of the situation, and they saw to the fact that they played out their hearts, and they were able to get the result they needed to go into another final. I was really expecting more from the other players in AC Milan, to Junior Messias and the rest, to really at least put up a great challenge, but they didn't seem to do so. The loss of one man should not actually lead to total capitulation when you play against a team you know so well. So it's good for Inter, and I think they will give Manchester City a run for their money at Istanbul.
All right. Let's talk about this Europa League. Leverkusen 0-0. Roma reaching the final with Sevilla. It's going to be. I'm going to call on you, Robbie, for these two games of Europa League. What's your thought?
I think let me start with the Roma game because I saw that game yesterday. Roma against Leverkusen, I'll tell you, they played better on the night because from the blast of the whistle, they went for Roma's jugular, and they did everything they could. In fact, at a point in time, they also crashed the crossbar. They did everything they could to get an equalizer, but we all know the way that man, Jose Mourinho, plays the game. This is one man that is more or less a master of the siege mentality. This is one man that brings the whole army of the world. When he sets up his defense, you cannot just get past it. And of course, it is a good one. It is very, very wonderful to see him get into another final, just barely a year after he got into the Conference League final that he won for the first time. So it remains to be seen if he can win the Europa League finals. If he does that, it also gives him the opportunity at the UEFA Super Cup. That is going to be maybe between Roma and Inter, or Roma and of course Manchester City. So this is one manager that has been able to get the best of the players he has around him. Roma is not one of the richest clubs in the world, but as it is, they have just been exceptional. For Fiorentina and West Ham, that is in the Europa Cup. Before I talk about that, let me talk about the Sevilla and of course Juventus game. I also saw that game, and I'll tell you something. I think United should be grateful that they were beaten by Sevilla, because that Sevilla team is one team. I tell you the truth. I saw that team play yesterday, and I'll tell you the truth. I really admired that team. Indeed, they are the masters of this particular tournament. So for Sevilla, they played very, very well against Juventus yesterday. They played very, very well. And of course, to have the fact that man talking about Eric Lamela, the former Tottenham Hotspur man, was the one that scored the winning goal for the Spanish side, that just tells you that this is one team that can more or less go and bring players from the dead and of course revive them. This is the same thing that you have Ivan Rakitic. So it just tells you that this is one team that has a lot of players that maybe some clubs just feel that they are finished, but Sevilla has a way of revitalizing the careers of those players. So for the Europa Conference League, West Ham against Fiorentina. Fiorentina should count themselves very, very lucky because in the first leg they lost against Basel. They lost 2-1, but they went to Switzerland, and of course they showed Basel how it is done because I've been following their progress in the Europa League, and of course I just like, wow. So Fiorentina actually has more or less this kind of very good form in Europe, and of course they've been rewarded with a spot in the finals. For West Ham, their story is more or less like the Cinderella story, because in the English Premier League, this is one team that is more or less flirting with relegation. But for a team that has been able to for a team that has been able to wriggle his way, and of course they worked for it, so I would not take anything away from the Hammers. They've been able to hammer their way into the finals of the Europa Conference League. That tells you that this is something very, very commendable about this team. And David Moyes was also very, very happy during his presser when he talked about the performance of the boys. It was a little bit mad by some crowd troubles and more or less violence from the opposition team, but the players were able to stick together. They were able to ride the storm, and of course they were able to get that goal that saw them into the finals. For me, I think I want West Ham to win. I think this season has been a torrid one for them. I'm just talking from the emotional side, not from the logical side though. This season has been a torrid one for them in the English Premier League. If they win this crown, I think it's going to give the fans something very, very good to talk about, especially for this season, and hopefully they avoid the drop. So that is more or less what we saw in Europe over the course of yesterday. That is in the Europa League as well as the Europa Conference League.
All right. I rate jumping onto this one right now. What do you expect in the final between Manchester United? Oh, sorry, Manchester City versus Inter.
maybe
Keep looking for trouble. Keep looking for trouble. Now you call Man Utd.
Next 10 years.
Talk to me, Irate. What are you expecting in this final, Man City, Real Madrid?
I mean, a lot of people are already saying the final was played on Wednesday between Man City and Madrid. But I would say it's still going to be a tough game. We know how Inter love to play. They will let you have the ball. I'm sure they also work the game. They will let you have the ball. They will defend with numbers and they will eat you on the break. And especially if, I'm not sure if Lukaku is starting, but if Lukaku and Martinez are starting, I think that is just pure pace. Get ready for counter-attacking game. So Man City will have to be careful with the way they attack. And I think this game will be reminiscent of the game 2 seasons ago, Man City-Chelsea final, where Man City had all of the ball and Chelsea just scored 1 goal and that was it. I'm sure Pep will be, be very careful. I mean, the defense has been better. Like I tell people that this is Pep's best defense at Man City since they took over that job. This defense is really, really solid, and they are even built to stop counter attacks. So, but at the end of the day, Inter Milan, you cannot write them off. They have a very good goalkeeper who has kept the most clean sheets in Europe this season. In the Champions League, they also have a steady and good backline with dangerous fullbacks in DiMarco and Dumfries. And the midfield, they just do a good job in protecting the defense. So it's going to be a tough game. I mean, the favorites are Man City. We all expect Man City to win. But I'm sure Pep and the boys will not just relax and expect it to be an easy ride. I think it's going to be a very close call in the end. But it should be an exciting game, one which we are looking forward to.
All right, EPL nominations straight up, guys. Player of the season nominations and also manager of the season. I'm going to start with you, Prof, for the players of the season. Do you agree with this? The nomination for the player.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the players of the season. Yes, I do agree. I do agree with the nomination of players of the season. Trippier has been fantastic. I think these are the players that I would expect to be nominated. To be honest, but for the managers of the season, I'm a little bit. I'm not seeing. I didn't see the Bournemouth manager in there. I don't know. I've just forgotten his name right now. I don't know why he's not there. He's not there because he did a phenomenal job taking Bournemouth from where they are to the position that they are now to avoid relegation. They've almost been clear of relegation for about 44 weeks now, and that's a fantastic job because they were odds on to relegate. But you cannot argue with these things. I think, to be honest, this season there are a lot of Premier League managers that have performed so well. When you see the likes of Bournemouth manager being left out, then Thomas Frank, Brentford manager being left out, that there's been lots of good managers this season, and yeah. So if I'm going to actually choose my top 3 manager of the season, I think I'll obviously go for Pep because I think he's going to win. I think coming from that position, a lot of people say Arsenal went toe to toe with Man City. I don't like to hear toe to toe. I think Man City they were ahead. So for me, it's not toe to toe. They were they gave them gap, so they were ahead. We have to understand it's not toe to toe. There's someone.
He is get ready. He is get ready. Get ready. He is get ready.
I want him caught up with. A team was ahead for so long. That nobody. It has never happened in history. Before Premier League history, and then the other team caught up with them and overtook them. So it's phenomenal what Pep has done and handling that team. Managing them in 3 different competitions. We have to also remember that Arsenal, they were happy to leave the Europa League, happy to leave all the cup competitions to focus on the bigger fish, which is the Premier League. But then they couldn't fry the fish. So it's very good now that
you have to talk about that.
Which kind of wahala be this one now? Eventually they could not fry the fish.
They ended up with shrimp instead.
they ended up with crayfish. So Pep is my number 1. But if I'm and then to be honest, this is not banter aside. If I'm going to go for the number two, I'll choose Eddie Howe because I think now Eddie Howe is favorite to get into the Champions League. They won their game yesterday against Brighton, dismantled Brighton, and now they just have to go ahead and beat Leicester and they'll qualify for the top four. Can you imagine that Eddie Howe Newcastle qualify for the Champions League? It's incredible what that man has done. And look, I cannot look beyond him as my second nominee for the Premier League manager of the season. And of course, third, yeah. I mean, Arteta does nick that third because I think he did a phenomenal job as well. He did a fantastic job, being there, challenging, taking Arsenal to the Champions League, challenging for the trophy, but just somewhat, performed. You don't expect he didn't make it at the end of the day. So, but then doesn't mean we can't give him his accolades because he's a top manager. He has shown that this season. And so that's my third, manager.
All right. Let me read the message from YMX Highways. It says, "Where is Eric Ten Hag, the only coach?"
Yes, where is Eric Ten Hag? I was going to allude to that. So,
because I'm fuming with this manager of the season. I'm not saying all of it, but Silva before Eric Ten Hag. I mean, where's Eric Ten Hag? Can you please go elaborate on this?
I think I can.
What is Eric Ten Hag looking for there?
No. He has a trophy already. What are you saying? Kunle, please go ahead.
Yeah, but this is not about. But this is Premier League manager of the season. It has nothing to do with the trophy he has. Now, if we're to be honest, you can make of it what you like, but that is my own thinking. There is nothing. There's actually nothing big about what Eric Ten Hag has done in the Premier League, in that Manchester United are expected to be in the top four. They made back-to-back top fours under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? So it's not as if maybe like 5 seasons ago, United were not, they were still in the Champions League too. Wait, if I'm even correct, they were in the Champions League last season now. No. If I'm right. Yes, they dropped to the Europa League.
No. It was this season they were in the Champions League. Last season they were in the Europa League direct. This season they dropped into the. So this season they dropped into the Europa League from Champions League.
No. They started in the Europa League this season. In the Europa League.
All right, I'm going to ask. Kole, hold on. Yeah. I'm going to ask.
United dropped into the Europa League this season. They played against Barcelona in the qualifiers.
No, it was Barcelona that dropped.
Barcelona that dropped.
That dropped from the Champions League. We started,
from the Champions League. United, you don't even know.
Haven't you forgotten?
All right,
Robbie is not United fan.
I know.
Thank you, Daddy. Help me tell them. Thank you.
All right, Kunle, do you agree with this player of the season nomination and also the manager of the season?
Yes,
because somebody is saying where's Casemiro?
Where's Casemiro? No. I mean, if Manchester United were to have any best player, it would be
Rashford.
Either Marcus Rashford or I think Lisandro Martinez, or maybe even Luke Shaw, But United clearly misses. Yeah, but but please, sorry, this person in
Newcastle. No Liverpool player at all.
No.
Can you imagine?
No, I was just about to say that. I mean, sorry, Kunle. I can see Rashford, but Salah has scored more goals than Rashford this season. So why do we have Rashford on this list and not Salah?
Well, that's because. Well, I would say because this is Rashford's best goals return passes in his career. He has never never had as many. Yes, and where Manchester United are, where they've been able to be in the top four, was largely due to those goals that he scored, especially after the World Cup. Because if you probably remove those goals, I don't know where those goals were going to come from. So I guess that is what makes him a pleasure. That's why I said if they didn't put him, maybe they would have put a Lisandro Martinez or or maybe a Luke Shaw or something. But but definitely he counts them up.
All right, let's let me. Do you agree with this player of the season and also the manager of the season? Welcome to the show. Barely hear him. I'm not sure whether he's
sorry, I want to ask something, please. This Newcastle player, is that not Kieran Trippier, please?
Yeah, Trippier, yeah.
Oh, okay, because I don't know, the face is looking different. That's my own player of the season.
He is. Can you hear me loud and clear? He is.
But actually, you don't old. You don't old.
All right.
No, he's looking different now.
All right. If I ask Robbie, do you agree with this player of the season and manager of the season?
Yes. Let me start with the manager of the season. I agree with the nominations, and I tweeted about it, and I said that if I were to make my own, if I'm going to do my own ranking, I think first and foremost I'll rank Eddie Howe, not for anything, but for the amazing job he has done with Newcastle United. That team has played amazing football this season, and I will tell you one thing about Newcastle United: anytime they decide to beat a team, go and check the score. They beat them 3, they beat them 4. And let's not forget that I think their past 5 matches, of which they won about 3 or 4 of it, they scored 6, they scored 4, they scored 3, and of course yesterday they scored another 4 goals. So it tells you that this team is just one team that has a lot of players who can. They have a lot of players who can score in this team, and of course it just tells you that this team is a well-balanced team. So I'll pick Eddie Howe first. I'll go for Roberto De Zerbi because Brighton and Hove Albion has also been another team that has been very, very, very impressive this season. They've been a joy to watch. They have been a joy to watch, despite losing a couple of players, very key players for that matter, to other Premier League sides. It has not shown in any way that they've missed these players in any way. It has not shown, and this is something that you get to see with traditional teams or other teams, maybe in England or in Europe, where they lose a key player and the whole team comes crashing down. But Brighton have been able to keep their head. They've been able to hold their own against any team, and of course, that is the reason why I'll take Roberto De Zerbi in second place. Of course, I'll take Pep Guardiola in third, and I'll take Mikel Arteta in fourth. Like I said, that is just my own ranking for the player of the season. Well, I think everybody we need to see are just on this list, and of course, I really don't have any issue with it whatsoever.
All right, but who are you going to choose for the player of the season?
Player of the season, I think I have a couple of candidates there, but no, I'll go with Erling Haaland as player of the season for me.
All right, Irate, what's your opinion on this player of the season and the manager of the season? Irate, talk to me, please.
Yeah, I'll say the nominations, in my opinion, are good nominations. I don't think, maybe Rashford should not be there, but that's for another day. Managers, yes. I mean, I don't think we should spend too much time on analysis, honestly, on both player and manager.
Because there's no club there.
Don't worry, Klopp will bounce back. He will be back next season.
All right, let me hear your thoughts. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, for me, player of the season is, without doubt, Erling Haaland, and the manager of the season. We can make a case for all of the managers here. Honestly, Emery has done a good job taking over at Aston Villa. De Zerbi is probably the most, aside maybe Pep, the most tactical right now. Arteta, of course, he's done a phenomenal job with Arsenal. Eddie Howe has taken over at Newcastle and he's been wonderful. Marco Silva. So, wonderful. But I mean, they've all had good achievements. I would say for me, just Pep. It's just Pep. You can't look beyond Pep Guardiola for this award. I mean, I think Eddie Howe has a big shout as well, but you can't just look beyond Pep Guardiola for this award. So Pep wins this for me.
All right, one time. He is. Let me carry you there. Let me take you there. He is. Can you hear me loud and clear? He is. You're welcome to the show. Do you agree with this player of the season and the manager of the season? Let me take you there. All right, talk to me with your daughter. Beautiful daughter.
No, without doubt. Yeah, I'm in transit.
All right.
Traffic. But without a doubt, you can't take out in Haaland's performance this season. He has been magnificent. He has been out of nowhere, breaking the record, scoring number of goals, playing lesser games. So definitely, I think we said this few episodes that Haaland for me will be the player of the season because of the record he has achieved. Maybe if he had gone to another team, he might not have been able to, come up with this kind of performance. But playing in a Man City squad, he has no excuse to give. He has to even do better, but he has shown everybody he has done it. And also for we see players like Odegaard in that place. I don't know. I don't know what is this Harry Kane. I don't know what Harry Kane is looking for in that list really, because I don't see what he has done for me. Somebody said he doesn't see what Rashford. I think high rate saying he doesn't know what Rashford is looking for in this nomination. So for me, I have grouse over Harry Kane. I don't know for whatever reason why he's here. And Odegaard, fits the bill. He has been magnificent this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, looking at his G&A, 15 goals and number of assists as well. In that position which he plays, I think he has set the record for that kind of, I don't know what record, I can't really say, so let me don't say what I don't know. But for the manager of the season, for me, really, I don't know what Unai Emery is looking for in this list. I don't know, for whatever reason. Took over Aston Villa, yes, did well with Aston Villa. So many other managers have done that. The Bournemouth manager did it. This other manager as well did it. What was his name?
Even Housen from Crystal Palace. At least.
Yeah, so I really don't know what he's looking for in this nomination. Hey, Pep has always been there. He's been constant for the past how many seasons. He has shown that he has what it takes. He has what it takes to be a manager. He has what it takes to, take a team to win and dominate, which we've seen in the past how many weeks. They've gone 16 or 18 games without losing. And I think Pep being there is no brainer. He should be there. But like I always say, I have my question mark on Pep. And the question is, my thesis is a thesis. It's just like if you're doing a research, you always come up with your thesis at the end of the day. So my thesis on Pep is, can he manage a team that is not funded with money? But that's a story for another day. Maybe he should prove that to us, or maybe if he doesn't want to prove that to us, that's his business. But with what he has done so far, he starts out there. He's number one. I've been hearing a lot downplayed Arteta. I think someone even rated De Zerbi over Arteta. And the question I'll ask for someone, I don't know who rated Eddie Howe over Arteta. No. And for the life of me, if you want to rate anything, just like for instance, if you're a science student, when you do practical, when you do your rating, what makes you rate something over something is in terms of performance. And like I said, the point speaks. The board, the table speaks. And you can't, for the life of me, I don't know how you would say Eddie Howe over Arteta. Mind you, this Arsenal squad is a squad that nobody ever rated from the beginning of the season. And I would like to, I don't want us to act as if our memory is so short, with all due respect. This was an Arsenal team that nobody tipped. Nobody. And I would like you, Don, to do us the honors. Go back and clip that video where you were asking top 4 for the season. I was the only one, maybe Okpe too, that rated Arsenal that we're going to finish in the top 4. Nobody else. Everybody was saying 6th, 7th. I think someone was even magnanimous to say Arsenal will finish 5th. But the rest was saying 7th, 8th. Also, I think someone even said Arsenal will repeat 8th position. So looking at what Arteta has done, and that's what I'm saying, this is always my problem when it comes to analysis.
Please, I want to respond.
Let me finish now.
Go ahead. I want to respond when you're done.
Let him finish. Let him finish, please.
There's something they call in management recency bias. And I think whoever is rating Arteta based on the last number of weeks Arsenal has experienced, the issue or the problem that person is having is called recency bias. You're only remembering what happened recently and you fail to analyze. That's why, for me, I love analysis that is holistical. You don't just take a chunk and remove one chunk. You can't, if you're looking at the entire season in rating a manager, you can't take the last few weeks to rate a manager. You cannot. And meanwhile, this was an Arsenal team that was not really that backed financially. I think the player that came in, how many players came in? How many players that joined? Even when we signed those players, people criticized us for signing that players, for wasting money. Ben White, 50 million. Aaron Ramsdale, you signed a goalkeeper that has always really been in relegation all his life. So I still don't understand how, in the life of me, you would rate Eddie Howe this season, Newcastle that we've seen this entire season, over Arsenal. Like I said, it's that person's opinion, and I respect the person's opinion. But in my own opinion, I would rate Arteta after Pep. That comes next because the table speaks.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, because of our time, I'm going to pause you for now because you're breaking up. Okay, Kule, you want to quickly say something?
Yeah, I would really love to respond back to what he said. Now, for me, now this is talking from my own. I am not generalizing like what most people said. For me, Arsenal finishing in the top 4 was expected. If you look back at what they did last season, they came this close, right? So it goes to tell you, and that was as close as Arsenal had gotten since the last time they qualified, since the last time they made the top 4, right? They were this close. If not for the injury to Thomas Partey or something, they wouldn't have made it, right? So for me, it was expected that Arsenal were going to make the top 4 this season off the back of what they did last. I even personally felt they will do better than Manchester United. I did not think Erik ten Hag was going to do what he did with the way the squad was. Arsenal was already improving. And don't forget, please, Arsenal made good signings, okay? And I feel these things were key. Now, let me just get back to what you said about Guardiola. Look, it's not about spending money, right? You can have all the money, but I feel it is about spending right. And that is what Guardiola does. He spends right. He doesn't just go because he has the money. You just think you can go and buy. No, he spends right. Even Arsenal this season, they might not have had all the money, right? But they spent right. And they got players that got them to where they were. Even their January signings were spot on for me. Trossard, Jorginho, those were bargains. I mean, those are players that even Pep Guardiola would love to have in his team for backup. You understand? So it's about buying right, not about saying that maybe because you have all the money. You can have all the money, but what if you don't spend right? You don't buy right. Manchester United, for instance, now has money, but most times they don't buy right. So it's about buying right. Okay. Now, about why Eddie Howe for me deserves this is because Newcastle will not even be in the equation for Europa League in a normal distance, but they are there in the top 4. And let's not forget that Eddie Howe has started this thing with Newcastle from the very first moment he came last season when they were in the relegation zone. From there, he took them up to, was it not 9th or 10th? They finished in the top 10. And they've continued now we can say, yes, maybe they've spent big money. They bought people like Ishak for 70 million, yeah. But it still points to the fact that they were buying right. They didn't just buy players because, we are now under the Saudis, there's money. They bought right. And this man was imputing his methods. Nobody has seen Newcastle play like this in ages, right? So for them to finish above the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Leicester City, I mean, I can mention teams that I would say Liverpool, should be finishing above Newcastle. But Newcastle was actually up there with Arsenal at some point. The gap wasn't that wide. Their biggest undoing was that they accumulated too many draws. Because if you look at their form compared to City and Arsenal, you will see that Newcastle have had more.
Spot on. Very true. Very true.
So anybody who doesn't read, what they have done is an underdog achievement.
Kole, I just want to rebuttal on what you're saying, because I remember vividly when Arsenal were topping, and a few weeks to go, and a lot of people were saying, "What if Arsenal win this title?" And you hear cynics, naysayers came out with the narrative that the reason why Arsenal is doing well is because Chelsea are not performing, Liverpool are not performing. Hold on. Manchester United is not performing. Tottenham too are not performing. Now, would you want to use that same narrative for Newcastle? Newcastle has done well because Chelsea underperformed, Liverpool underperformed, Manchester United underperformed, Tottenham underperformed. Would you want to use that same narrative in the case of Newcastle?
Not at all. I'm not going to use that at all. I don't buy into that narrative that because of a team's form.
Can I give a response?
I know Prof is going to give us a response.
Yes,
Robbie.
Apparently done. I
hope you are here.
My job.
I am here. I'm here.
Yeah.
The
Be on
fact
guard.
remains that if Liverpool were what we expected Liverpool to be, and Chelsea are what we expect them to be, the fact remains that if Newcastle even finishes 6th or 7th, is a fantastic season for them. So with the fact that they finish 4th, they are going to finish 4th or 3rd doesn't mean if they finish 6th or 7th, even if Liverpool were who Liverpool are supposed to be, and Chelsea finished in the top 4, and Newcastle ends up in 5th or 6th, it will still have been a fantastic season for them. The fact remains that Liverpool's absence and Chelsea's absence, who are traditional top 4 sides, have given these people an edge, the likes of Newcastle and Wales and Brighton and co, to challenge to go up of the table. It's fact. It is fact. And Liverpool, you'll see it when Liverpool is back. Look at Liverpool. Look at how they climb up. Look how they climb up.
So how come we're not having that same? How come we're not having
Prof, I am not going to agree to that.
I just want to ask a question.
Liverpool, what you do understand, Prof,
is not as strong as Liverpool's
Brighton
team. So they are over punching their weight now. They are over punching their weight.
No, you can't look at Brighton and tell me that Brighton is because of.
Can you hear me?
Look, Prof, teams in the Premier League are improving. You can see Brentford.
Look, Kule, they can be improving. Kule, I understand you. Kule, right? They can be improving, but they cannot be. I rate. Liverpool is wait. I rate opinion. Liverpool, Chelsea.
I'm not
get it. Look, I can bet you that next season they'll be back where they're supposed to be.
I do not think. Look, the quality.
Sorry, Kule, can I quickly chip in before I don't know, this network is just crazy. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
You are going off and on.
The network is just so.
Let me just say something. What we have as the traditional top 4, see, I think we should dismantle. You know, there was even a time they were saying top 6. There's nothing like top 6 again, right? Because, like I said, what you people fail to realize is that these smaller teams that we call so-called smaller teams, they themselves are making very good buys. Look at Brighton. Look at Brentford. It's not by mistake. Those guys are being coached very well. You see that even when they play the likes of City, even when Liverpool are their best, you would see that they are going toe-to-toe with them. It's not a walk in the park.
It is not the first time that teams like this will punch above their weight. West Ham have done it before.
But
teams come and go. Listen.
All right, because of our time, guys. Please hold on, guys.
Every season, teams come and go. They will still follow.
All right, because of our time, guys. Hold on. I know this show is uncensored. We're not saying. We say it the way it is. That's why we are not being scripted. Am I right, Robbie? Talk to me, Robbie. Robbie.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I said we're uncensored, unscripted.
Yes, very, very, very unscripted. And like I said, that is one thing that makes this show one of the best in the country. Because we say things as they are, and of course, yes, we can have a go at each other, but there's this love, and of course, it is for the better understanding of the game, and of course, for the better contribution of the game. So this is one of the best shows around.
All right, let's go straight to the week 37. I'm saying the game week. The fixtures right there. You can see it on the screen. Spurs will be welcoming Brentford. Also, Manchester United, if they're going to make top 4, Kunle will be watching that match live tomorrow, and he'll be fuming if anything goes wrong. And that is Manchester United going all the way to Bournemouth, and also Crystal Palace doing the same thing, going all the way to Fulham. Liverpool, I pray they play draw or they lose as a Manchester United fan. I know Heide will say no, hell no, we are going to win this. I'm talking about Liverpool welcoming Aston Villa. What about Wolves and Everton? They will be struggling for that match, Everton, and also Tottenham Forest will be welcoming Arsenal. Well, to me, Arsenal has another chance to be back to the table to win this league. For me, they can still win the league. And also, West Ham on Sunday will be welcoming Leeds United. Southampton will be traveling all the way to the broken Brighton. I hope Brighton will come up with something on that game. And also the Super Sunday, which is Manchester City, will be welcoming Chelsea. Chelsea, can you do the miracle? Can you beat Man City at home at Etihad for making sure they will not win the league? I'm telling you, that will be another thing we'll be talking about. But straight to the point right now, I want us to talk about Man City versus Chelsea. Starting from there on Sunday, I'm going to call on Prof, because Prof, you see it directly that this could be the last match for me if Man City wants to win the league. How so important is this match, Man City versus Chelsea?
Yeah.
Prof, talk to me.
mean, after the game against, after the game against, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, after the game against Real Madrid, Pep said he was giving the boys a day off. That was Thursday, and they'll be back in training today. I'm sure they are just going to have light training session, and then and they'll be ready for Chelsea. I probably expect him to start the full strength team, bar one or two players. Look, Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea are willing to do. This is me just bantering a little bit. I don't think they're willing to do Arsenal any favors. I think, but in the real sense of it, we all know how strong Man City is in their stadium, and this is a very, very, very poor Chelsea side. So there is no chance that let's say Arsenal get to beat Nottingham Forest at their stadium, and there's no way in the world that Chelsea will stop this Man City side from winning the title, which is, I think, is their last home game of the season. So it's very important for them. That's when they will come with their families and everything. It's a close. It's the end of the season for them. They will be on the high. They want to finish on the high. Chelsea just have to be careful not to ship in as much as 5 or 6 goals, because it can happen. It can definitely happen.
Wow.
The teammate is out for Chelsea. They're going to be missing Badiashile, who is out with injury. Rhys James and Chilwell all out as well. N'Golo Kante will miss it. So we expect Chelsea also to just feed in, whatever players they have behind, and go with what they have. I mean, the season for them has been over a long time ago. It's just about whether or not they can do Arsenal any favors. So look, we don't see that happening. City are going to win that game, and they'll win it comfortably in front of their families and their fans, and they'll be handed over the trophy right there and there. Yeah.
All right, let me move on to Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Arsenal. Do you think anything can come out from Jerusalem on that particular match? Can Arsenal actually go all the way to secure 3 points? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah. I can hear you now.
Okay. I think it's Nottingham Forest have been in form in their last few games, and in their stadium they want to turn up. They want to make it difficult for us. And I think this will be the last game they'll be playing in their stadium. So they want to finish on there, and also they are battling for relegation, trying to secure the spot for above relegation. It's going to be a tough one for us now. I know it's going to be physical, because teams now, they know if you want to defeat Arsenal, just get physical, and that was what Brighton did from the start. Just went physical. And at the end of the day, they tore Arsenal out. So possibly, will Nottingham Forest want to go physical, or would they want to approach the game differently? But I think the season is wrapped up. Right now, Arsenal, I think they know they can't, even despite Arteta coming out to the press saying mathematically we can win the league. The only thing that can make Arsenal win the league is possibly Man City losing the remaining 3, which is highly impossible, because right now Man City seem to be giving everything they are playing 4-4-0. Possibly that might be Chelsea's lot on Sunday, because they will have to. They are going to tear Chelsea down. So I don't even want Chelsea to do us any favors, because this season is wrapped up. Let's move on. Like I said, let's do the analysis of how our season went down, and let's build strong forward. So I'm not really keen for tomorrow's game, because Man City, they have the title wrapped up already.
All right, let's move on to this. I'm going to call on Irate. How important is this game, Liverpool versus Aston Villa? Irate, do you believe anything can happen in that game, Liverpool, considering the fact that Aston Villa are also strong side at the moment? Irate, how are you feeling about this game? Are you ready? What's happening in your camp? I'm talking about Liverpool FC. Go for it, bro.
Yeah. I think for this game, it's simultaneously with the Bournemouth Man United game, which is also very important to this game. So we'll be keeping an eye on both games. But for Liverpool, 4 players will be leaving, are confirmed to leave, and they'll be getting their send-offs. Firmino, Keita, Chamberlain, and Milner are all leaving. So they're going to have farewell send-forth in the game. So, but overall, it's at Anfield. I expect nothing less than Liverpool
Klopp won't be at the touch line. It won't be. I think it was
Yeah,
handed
he
a
got
ban.
a two match ban. Yeah,
Is that not going
it
to
won't.
affect the game? I mean, the team.
No, it's not going to affect anything.
I was going to ask Iris that. Iris,
Doesn't matter.
do you think that?
Mhm.
Do you think that this is a game for you people to do any sort of send forth? This is a very important game. Are you sure there will be time to do send forth to the likes of the French players that are losing? Because look, if you lose this one, you're out of the top four, or even draw it.
Yeah, I think Firmino is back in training. Chamberlain is also back. I think maybe if we wrap up the game early, they might get to, get some minutes to play. And even if they don't get minutes, I think Firmino will definitely get minutes. If the others can't get minutes after the game, then they will just get the lap of appreciation from the crowd, and they'll probably be presented with a couple of items to take along, like we did for the likes of Lalana and Sturridge over the years. So I think they might not play, but they will still get that sent forth after the game. And regarding Klopp's touchline ban, I don't see it affecting anything. They're still going to play the same way they play.
For real?
Yeah, I mean, all of the work is done in the training ground, so it's not like Klopp has to be there and start instructing them on what they already know what to do. Trent will play his role, Anderson, they all know their roles. So and like I said, it's at Anfield. Despite the fact that Aston Villa are in form, I still expect Liverpool with the current form, knowing that if we get 3 points here and Man United drop points, we have a chance going we have a chance going into the last two games. I think Man United is playing Chelsea. Even though Chelsea are not in the best of form, I think it's Chelsea's probably last home game of the season, or away. So I mean, anything can happen in that game as well. So we just want to give ourselves the best shot at making the top four. Like Klopp said, what would be a disaster is if other teams do us a favor and we don't do ourselves a favor. So get 3 points in the bag. I expect nothing less than 3 points in that game against Aston Villa.
All right. Moving on to the Manchester United versus Bournemouth. I'm going to ask you, Kunle. I mean, this is very important match, and you know that Manchester United have been struggling all over the season. I'm talking about going all the way. I mean, the away games have been shambolic. And Kunle, how are you feeling about going to this game versus Bournemouth? 3 points is very important.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's a game. United should win because Bournemouth have nothing to play for. For a start, their survival status is secured. But of course, that doesn't mean that maybe Bournemouth will now mean that maybe Bournemouth just won't maybe put up a fight or something. But I think looking at it, that United had back-to-back. Is it back-to-back victories? I'm sorry. Before this game against Wolverhampton, was it Brighton? I think we had 2 wins. Please, I don't. Sorry, just I'm trying to look at. Please, I'm trying to look at the. I'm trying to look at the screen, but But they bounced back. The point is, they bounced back against Wolverhampton Wanderers, which was very, very important. Now, I believe they know the importance of this game. So, they need to win, because let's not forget that they are playing Chelsea next. That game is not going to be easy, whether we like it or not. You could say Chelsea are not in form, but Chelsea, is a traditional Premier League giant, and there's history between the two clubs. So United need to get this win to make it easier for them in their quest for the top top. So getting a win is not negotiable. It's not negotiable. They just have to, they just have to win. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. They have to win, and also Spurs will be welcoming Brentford. I don't think. Do you think they can make top 4, or they should forget about it? Prof.
No, I think. Oh, sorry,
Prof. Spurs will be welcoming Brentford. I don't think they can make. I don't think
7 points. They are too far away. I think when I heard their fans, they don't even want to make. They can't even make the Conference League the way I'm looking at it. Because Europa League is 5. Okay, they might just make the Conference League. They might just. It's a tussle between them and Villa for the Conference League. So that is what they've been reduced to at the moment.
Yes. Well,
So
right.
this is not about Tottenham, because you
Yeah.
remember earlier today in the group where they were nailing people that made opinions or predictions earlier in the season. This was a sports team that someone among us here predicted because they had Antonio Conte as the manager, and they bought Perisic, and they bought Basuma, or they bought players. Now I'm surprised it's eating the humble pie, saying they can't make the Champions League. I rest my case. Humble pie served.
Conte was there. If Conte was there, I still think they'll finish it. They'll finish in top 4. But it's not, the man is no more there again, so we can't.
If Conte was there, was Conte not there? Was he not the one they sacked? Was it not the Conte that took rubble?
How many points?
I'm not even going to that argument. I'm never going to go into that argument. It's the
All right, guys, this is how far we can go. Kunle, I am telling you, this is a match Manchester United must win. Or what do you think, Kunle? Talk to me. What do you think going into this game? Also,
I said it's not negotiable now.
Talk to me. How do you feel about your game? Must see a win for Liverpool against Aston Villa. What's your prediction on that game?
Predicting 3-1 to Liverpool. Also, I predict Bournemouth to beat Man United 2-0.
Say that again. Kule, talk to it.
I know. Well, for me, I actually see Liverpool winning, but not by that 3-1. I don't know. I feel it will be a tough game. So me, I would see 1-0 for Liverpool. But on that side, I see Man United. I see Man United beating 2-1.
All right, 2-1. Also, because I'm going to also ask the game that is very important. Arsenal traveling all the way to Nottingham Forest. What do you think the scoreline will be? Irate, you are the predictor today. You're going to predict every matches for us. Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal.
That's a big game for Nottingham Forest. They actually have a decent record this season. So I think they are still in the relegation fight, and Arsenal have been deflated. I think you can see from their faces from the last game that they are really deflated. I think it might just be a draw to Nottingham Forest. Maybe a 1-1 draw for the game.
All right. What about Wolves and Everton? What's your score prediction on that?
That's another big game. Game, especially for Everton. Yeah. Wolves are pretty much safe right now. I think for some reason I'm seeing Everton picking up all 3 points in this game for survival. So I think Everton will win 2-1.
All right. What about this game? Spurs versus Brentford. What's your score prediction on that? Spurs versus Brentford.
Spurs, they've been in a very shaky form. They've not been very good. Yeah. Brentford are also a team that are very good at home, much more than playing away. I think Spurs would want to play for some pride. They play at home. It's probably their last home game of the season. So I think it's going to be a very, very close game. I think Spurs will edge it for me 1-0.
All right, what about West Ham versus Leeds United? What's your score prediction, Irate?
West Ham right now, they are in the Europa Conference final and they are buzzing. They are really, really buzzing, looking ahead to the final. They are not entirely safe, but I think they are very close to being safe for this season. Yeah, I think they are being mathematically they are not yet safe.
Let me pull up this.
So
West Ham 37. They are not safe yet, though.
Mathematically, they are not.
They are safe. I think they are safe.
I mean, yeah, 37 from 6 points.
Yes, if 6 points, so I think they are safe.
But I don't see them relegating. I think we are just saying, mathematically. But I think West Ham would play. I think Leeds are just probably the worst team defensively after Southampton. So I think West Ham playing at home. I see West Ham winning this game 3-0.
Wow, West Ham 3-0. What about Brighton versus Southampton? I think it should be a straight win for us.
I think it would be a win for Brighton. They've actually been missing a couple of key players in recent weeks. So, but I still see them picking up all 3 points against Southampton. 2-0 to Brighton.
All right. All about this last game which is going to be a title decider. Like I'm saying, whether it's going to be a winning game for Man City or Chelsea. What's your score prediction on Man City versus Chelsea?
I mean, it's hard to argue against Man City not picking up the Premier League title this weekend.
Yes, we can.
I think a very good Chelsea side on a normal day would probably be a close call, maybe 2-1 or 1-0. But I see Chelsea getting overrun by Man City after the last couple of wins that they've had, especially against Real Madrid. So they are full of form, full of confidence going into this game. Whatever happens in the game, Nottingham Forest Arsenal, I think Man City will just go ahead and crush Chelsea to win the Premier League title.
All right, this is how far we can go, guys. Please smash the like on the video. And well, let me say thank you, Mark, for joining us all the way from Toronto today.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Mark. One love, bro. Anytime. One love. Kule, thank you so much for joining us on this show. One love, bro.
Yeah, thanks a lot, boss.
Hope we'll be back on Monday. At least we
yeah. No, we are. The victory is certain. Don't worry.
All right, one love. All right, one love, bro. Ira, thanks so much for joining us on this show. One love, bro.
One love, brother. Thank you.
All right, yes, massive guy. Thank you so much for joining us on this show. What do you say? You're breaking up.
No, I'll save it till next week. There was a question I wanted to ask, but I'll save it till next week.
All right, one love. Thank you so much, Ayes, for joining us on the show. One love. All right, Prof.
My congratulations to Arsenal fans in advance for losing the title too. You gave me joy.
Hey, easy.
Thank you.
Easy. Don't take me to where I don't know. All right. Thank you so much, bro. For all our viewers, one time, I'm going to say this. People, please smash the like on the video. This is Intercontinental Sport TV. This is absolutely our ISTV YouTube shows. On Monday, it's going to be ISTV Sports for Taste. ISTV Sports for Taste. It's all about sports activities going to take place over the week. And it's going to be a recorded show by this main guy, Kani. That's what his name goes for. I am telling you. Join him. Smash the like, support us on this station, on this TV. I'm talking about Intercontinental Sport TV. Another show coming up this week, over the week, is going to be ISTV Sport Banter with Prince, the baddest guy himself, ISTV Sport Banter. Join him, support him. This is how we roll. Also on Monday, it's going to be a sports review show. The matches are played over the weekend. That's where we go to dissect, slice what actually happened in the game. And also on Friday like this, please, it's going to be Friday sports review show. What else? What else are you still doing? Please smash the like on video. Share this video, share it, and make sure you also subscribe. Join us one time again. Same time. Signing out. They don't. Bye for now.